Hey everyone, my name is Ellen, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Heat Waves by Glass Animals on the guitar. So stay tuned if this is something that you'd like to learn. Alright guys, although there are a few aspects of this song that can be a little bit more challenging, I would say that it's pretty beginner friendly, especially if you want to just stick with the strumming instead of the picking pattern. But let's go ahead and go over the overview. So go ahead and make sure your guitar is in standard tuning, and today I have my capo on the 4th fret. This is going to allow us to play the easiest chord shapes possible while also being in the original key as the original song. On top of that, you're only going to need to know 5 different chords, and none of them are bar chords, so no worries there. And today I wanted to show you one main strumming pattern that I like to use in this song, as well as one picking pattern that kind of emulates what you hear in the original. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into how to play those chords. Alright, so like I said, you only need to know 5 chords to play through this whole song. And the first one is A minor, which looks like this and sounds like this. After that, we have our G chord, which looks like this and sounds like this. Next, we have our E minor chord, which looks like this and sounds like this. Then we have our D chord, which looks like this and sounds like this. And then the last chord you need to know is our C chord, which looks like this and sounds like this. And those are the 5 chords you need to know to play this song. Alright guys, so after you have those chords memorized, go ahead and take a few moments to practice transitioning between them. This song does go pretty fast, especially since you'll see in the strumming portion, we're going to be changing our chords in the middle of a strumming pattern, so just make sure that you have those transitions down. If that's something that you need help with, I do have a video right here that talks about how to practice your transitions and get better at them, so make sure to check that out if you need help with that. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the strumming patterns that I like to use for this song. You can't fight it, you can't breathe. You say something so loving, but now I gotta let you go. You'll be better off with someone new. Alright, so if you're familiar with any of my other tutorials, you know what's coming first, which is our practice pattern, which is just one simple down strum on the beat for every chord change. I always suggest beginners start like this so that you can get used to where those chord transitions are going to be throughout the song, like what word you're singing and things like that. And it also just kind of gives you a feel for how the song is going to go. So let's go ahead and give this a practice. If you put your A minor chord on, that's the very first chord in the song, and all you're going to do is strum down once. Go to your next chord G, strum down once. Then we have E minor, strum down once. And then D, strum down once. Alright? So let's go ahead and just apply this to the chorus because that's the most familiar part of this song, I'm sure, for most of us. So again, we have our chord progressions on there, A minor G, E minor D, and you're just going to do one simple down strum while singing the song, and just take note of which syllable or which word you're singing whenever you're changing those chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now. Alright? So again, just take note of which word you're singing whenever we're doing those chord transitions. It's really going to help you kind of keep that beat going when we up the difficulty of the strumming pattern, which is what I'm just about to do. So let's go ahead and go over the strumming pattern that I actually like to use in my cover. Alright, so as you can see, our strumming pattern is a little bit lengthy, but don't worry, I'm going to break this down for you guys. But first of all, let's just go over the rhythm. As you can see, it's down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, and it's going to sound a little something like this. All right, so hopefully you're starting to hear how the rhythm is coming together now, but let's just practice it together. I have my A minor chord on since that's the first chord in the song, and let's go ahead and just get this strumming pattern's rhythm down and stay on our A minor chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. So I know, again, it is kind of a lengthy strumming pattern, but when we start to change chords, you'll see how it kind of comes together a little bit more. But make sure that you get that rhythm down. If you need more practice, go ahead and pause the video and rewind a little bit and practice that section over and over until you can get the rhythm part on beat, on tempo with me. And then from there, we can go ahead and put in some of our chord transitions. So let me go ahead and put your chord transitions on the screen. We're gonna go from A minor to G to E minor to D. And the way we're going to kind of break this pattern down is we're going to put one chord on the left side. So I'm going to put a little vertical line here after the first two down strums. And what we're going to do is play those first two down strums on our first chord and then play the rest of the pattern through on our second chord. And that's going to alternate back and forth. So for example, we're going to have A minor on the first two downs, and then the rest of this pattern is going to be played with G. So let me just go ahead and show you what that sounds like. With my A minor chord on, I have down, down, switch to G, up, down, 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 up. All right, one more time. A minor, down, down, switch to G, up, down, 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 up. So you can see that's a really quick transition because we're doing those chord transitions in the middle of the strumming pattern. So again, make sure that you have your transitions down really quick. All right, so again, we've got A minor, down, down, switch, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. A minor, G, A minor, G. All right, awesome. And again, once you have those first two chords down, it's going to follow this same pattern for the entire song. So our next two chords are going to be E minor to D, and like I said earlier, it's going to follow the exact same pattern. So E minor is going to be on the first two down strums, and D is going to be on the rest of the pattern. So again, with our E minor, we've got down, down, then you go to your D chord, up, down, 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 up. All right, again, E minor, D. And again, once you put this in context of the song and you get all of your chord transitions, transitioning in the right spot, it'll start to sound a lot more like the song. So let's go ahead and put all four of those chords together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. A minor, G, E minor, D. Sometimes all I think about is you, late nights in the middle of June. All right? So hopefully you can hear the song starting to come together now. And the great thing about this pattern is that even though it can be a little bit tricky to get under your belt and get used to, it can be applied for the entire song, so you don't have to learn any other strumming patterns to play through this. And actually in my cover, that is the strumming pattern that I will be using for the entire song. However, there is a really cool picking pattern that you can use that kind of emulates the song a little bit more. So let's go ahead and zoom in so I can show you the picking pattern that I would suggest using for this song. Make you happier now. I just wanna know what you're dreaming of when you sleep and smile so comfortable. I just wish that I could give you that look that's perfect. Alright guys, so I've zoomed in to take a closer look at this picking pattern. Now if you are unfamiliar with my other tutorials, I do like to refer to my strings as numbers. So my low E string is 6 and it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 all the way to my high E string, which is 1. And that just kind of makes more sense in my head, so hopefully it does in your head as well. So for the rest of this picking portion, I will be referring to these strings as numbers. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the actual pattern. So if you go ahead and put your A minor chord on, that's the first chord in the song. What we're going to do with our right picking hand is we're going to use our thumb to pick the lowest bass note in each chord, which in this case is either going to be your 6th string, low E, or your 5th string, the A. Then I want you to take your pointer and your middle finger, and we're going to use these for the other 2 strings in the pattern per chord. So each chord is going to be a little bit different, so let me just go ahead and show you one chord at a time. With our A minor chord, we're going to have our thumb on the 5th string, our pointer finger on the 3rd G string, and our middle finger on the 2nd B string. Alright? And what we're going to do is pick the bottom or bass note, which is 5. Then we're going to alternate between our top 2 strings, 3 and 2. So we've got 5, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Alright? And it'll make more sense if you put it in the rhythm that you hear in the song. Then we would go to our G chord next, and for this one you're going to keep your pointer and middle finger on the G and B on the 3 and 2, but move your thumb to the new bass note, which is our 6th string, okay? So for this it's going to be the same pattern. We're going to play our bass and then back and forth between 3 and 2. 6, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Alright, so hopefully you're hearing the song. From our A minor to G, we go 5, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3 to G. 6, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Alright. Next, we're going to have our E minor chord, and this is where it's going to change a little bit. So your thumb is going to stay on your low E string, but this time I want you to move your pointer and middle finger up 1 string each. So now your pointer finger is on the 4th D string, and your middle finger is on the 3rd G string. But the actual pattern is going to be the same. So for E minor, we have 6, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. So far we have A minor, G, E minor. Then for D, which is our last chord in this little pattern here, go ahead and keep your thumb on the 5th string. I know that that's not actually part of the D chord, but it's just easiest to keep your hand in this position. So for D chord, we're going to pick the 5th string, and then 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Alright, so the whole thing goes like this. A minor, G, E minor, D. So without stopping, alright, and if you're playing that for the intro, then that would just repeat itself. Repeat. Now that does repeat throughout the song. However, if you want to play this picking pattern during the chorus, we do need to know a few more chords. So let's go ahead and take a look at our C chord. For this one, your thumb is going to be on the bass note, which is our 5th A string. And then your pointer and your middle are going to go ahead and stay on the 4th and 3rd string, or the D and G string. All All right, so our C chord is the same pattern. We've got 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. All right, and then in the chorus, you're actually going to see that you'll play the G chord twice in this little progression. So the first time you're playing G chord, it's going to be how we practiced it earlier. So we have 6, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. But the second time, I would suggest to go ahead and play it this way. So you're going to keep your thumb on 6th, but you're going to move your pointer and middle finger to the 4th and 3rd string. So the second time you play G, it'll look like this. 6, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. And the reason I'm suggesting it that way is because it just kind of makes it easier on yourself with your picking hand to not have to switch strings too much. So let me just go ahead and play you the whole progression. So this is again during the chorus. We're going to go A minor G, E minor D, C, G, E minor D. Okay, that's the whole entire progression. And the picking pattern is going to sound like this. A minor, 5, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. G the first time, 6, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. E minor, 6, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. D, 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. C, 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Back to G the second time, 6, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. E minor, 6, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Back to D, 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. All right, I know that's a lot to take in, but if you pause and practice this on your own, I promise it'll start to slowly make more sense and get a little bit easier each time you practice. So let's go ahead and go through that whole thing without stopping. Awesome. So go ahead and pause the video and make sure to practice this picking pattern if that's something you want to incorporate into your cover. It can be a little bit tricky to remember which string you're picking with your right hand, at any given point in time in the song. So it does just come with practice. The slower you practice and the more you practice, the easier it'll get. But with that being said, let's go ahead and put everything we learned together to play through the whole song. Goodbye. Now that you know the chords, the strumming, and the picking, or whatever it is that you want to use to play through this song, it's your turn to have a little bit of fun. So be sure to join me right here for my play along fast track cover portion of this tutorial where we will play through the whole song and I'll have all the lyrics and chords and everything you need to know on screen in front of you. Or if you find this to be a little bit too fast, a little bit too challenging, you can always check out my Patreon page where I have customizable backing tracks that you can slow down, speed up, turn things on and off, use the metronome and the drum lines and things like that on there. So it's very tailorable to whatever it is that you want to practice. So be sure to check that out on my Patreon page, where you'll also find printable guitar guides for every tutorial on my channel, including this one. And on top of that, you can even send me videos of what you're working on or any questions you have, and I will send you my video response back. So all of that is available on my Patreon page, which is linked down below. Alright guys, so that was my tutorial for how to play Heat Waves by Glass Animals on the guitar. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to give me a thumbs up down below, as well as subscribe to my channel. That way you never miss out on any other new tutorials. Here are my social media links in case you'd like to follow me on any of those. That's just where I do fun things like behind the scenes looks at things coming up. I'll poll you guys on what you want to see next, and I'll even do an occasional giveaway, so be sure to follow me on those. Huge shout out and thank you to all of my patrons over on my Patreon page for making tutorials just like this one possible. I will have all their names on screen right now. You guys are amazing, I love you, and thank you so much for all of your support. But yeah, that concludes this tutorial, so be sure to check out my play along video right here, and I will see you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.